Good morning, everyone. My name's Cyprienne, and today we're going to be crocheting the Buddy Bear baby hat. This is a really easy combination of double crochet and single crochet, so even if you're pretty new to crochet, you're going to be able to make this hat. I have a pattern download in my Etsy shop, which includes multiple sizes all the way up to adult. It also includes ear flap version as well. But for demonstration purposes today, we're just going to be doing the simple baby beanie, and I'm going to be doing a crab stitch, or otherwise known as reverse single crochet edging. So all you need today is some super bulky yarn, a 6.5 millimeter hook, a 5 millimeter hook, and some stitch markers, but I'll put that whole list below for you and you can gather up your supplies and we can get started. Okay, so this pattern calls for a number 5 bulky yarn. Any yarn will do as long as it has this gauge that it has on this band. I was really lucky and managed to find some old Bernat chunky yarn, which this pattern was actually originally written for. So we are going to be starting the base of the hat using the 6.5 millimeter hook, and the 5.5 is going to be for the ears, but if you don't have a 5.5, by all means use a 6.5. So we're just starting with a slip knot. And then we're going to be chaining 2. So that's 1 and 2. Counting down to the second chain from the hook, we're going to be working 8 half double crochet. So that's 1. Also, if you know how to do a magic circle, you can definitely use a magic circle. I just always have started my hats like this and find it really easy. So that's 2 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Just going to double check, and I've got one more to go, and that's 8. So that's our first round done. Just double check that you have 8 stitches, because your beginning count is really going to determine the size of your hat. So for round 2, we're not going to join, we're just going to work continuously, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into that first stitch. And that's 1 and 2. And I always like to put my stitch marker back in, of course. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to continue to work 2 single crochets in every stitch around. So at the end of round 2 you should have 16 stitches. So I'm going to finish this up and we'll meet up at the beginning of round 3, and that's when we'll actually start working on the texture of the hat. Okay, so I am at the end of round 2 and I've double checked and I have 16 stitches. So we can move on to round 3. Now at the end of round 2 things are a little different. We are going to join with a slip stitch to the very first single crochet, and then we're going to be chaining 1 and turning. Then for round 3 we're going to skip the first single crochet and we're going to work in the next. We're going to be working 1 single crochet followed by a double crochet in that same stitch. So you're working 2 stitches into 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. Then you're going to skip the next stitch, work another single crochet and another double crochet into the same stitch again. Skip the next stitch and work another single crochet and another double crochet. That is going to be your pattern repeat for the rest of the round, so you can work all the way around to the end. You should finish with 16 stitches, and then we'll continue on to round 4. So I'm at the end here, and I'm just going to finish off with 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet in that last stitch, and we'll continue on to round 4 by joining with a slip stitch, chaining 1 and turning. Now for round 4 we're going to be doubling our stitches by working 2 single crochet in the first stitch, Always like to mark it off. 2 single crochet in the next stitch, and you're going to continue to work that way all the way around, placing 2 single crochets in every stitch around, and that's going to take your stitch count from 16 to 32. Now the hat is looking really flat right now, and it does because the way the increases are done, but don't worry about that, it's going to be perfect when you finish it. So I'll meet you at the end of round 4, and we'll continue on with round 5. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 4 here. We're just going to continue and join to round 5 with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're going to be skipping the first stitch again, working in the second stitch. We're going to place 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet. We're going to skip the next stitch and place 1 single crochet and 1 double crochet in the next. So we're going to continue to work this way all the way along. Do not forget to skip, otherwise you'll be doubling your stitches again. So you can work this way all the way to round 5. We'll do another increase round with round 6 and move on from there. See you at the end of this round. Okay, so I'm at the end of round 5, and I'm just going to finish this round working a single crochet and a double crochet in that last stitch. And then I'm going to join again with a slip stitch, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn. Now round 6 is going to be another increase round, so we're going to work a single crochet in that first stitch, another single crochet in the next stitch, and 1 more single crochet after that. Then we're going to be working 2 single crochets into the next stitch. That's 1, then 2, followed by another single crochet and 1 more single crochet, followed by 1 more single crochet, followed by 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So you'll continue on like this till the end of the round, working 1 single crochet in 3 stitches, followed by 2 single crochet in the next. Okay, so here I am at the end of round 6, and I'm just going to finish off with 2 single crochets in that last stitch. Okay, to start round 7, we're going to start with a slip stitch, chain 1 and turn. Then we're going to skip that first stitch, working a single crochet and a double crochet in the next stitch. We are going to skip the next stitch and continue with a single crochet, double crochet in the next. So you're going to work this same pattern all the way around, skipping 1 stitch, then working a single crochet, double crochet in next, all the way around, and you should have 40 stitches, and we'll continue on from there. But before we go, we'll do a quick gauge check, just measuring this piece across and make sure that our sizing is turning out okay. So it's at about 4.5 inches at this point. Okay, so just at the end of round 7 here, we're going to work a single crochet and a double crochet in our last stitch. Moving on to rounds 8 through 14 now, we're going to join to that first stitch with a slip stitch, and we're going to chain 1 and turn. Now that first stitch of the previous round was a single crochet, and we want to be working in the double crochet. So we're going to single crochet and double crochet into that stitch. We're going to skip the next single crochet and then work those 2 stitches, the single crochet and the double crochet, into the double crochet. So moving forward, you want to make sure that you're working those 2 stitches always into the double crochet, and that's what's going to keep your texture looking exactly as you see it in the pictures. So continue working around, and you're going to be working 14 rounds, and then we'll meet up. We'll do the final edging in the crab stitch. So we'll see you there. Okay, so now that we have finished all our rounds, we'll just finish off by joining with a slip stitch, and we'll start working that reverse single crochet. So we're going to chain 1, and then what we're going to be doing is working into the first stitch, but we're slipping our hook in backwards from front to back, and then we're just going to grab our yarn with our hook and pull it back through, and then finish it off just as we would a single crochet. So you're going to insert your hook from front to back, grab the yarn, pull it through, and finish off the single crochet. And that's the reverse single crochet. We're going to work that all the way around, inserting back to front and finishing off the single crochet. So you can just work that all the way around, and then we'll finish off here. We're just going to fasten off our yarn, and then we'll start making the ears and finish off the hat. So this is what it's looking like so far. It's so pretty, even just on its own. You could add flowers or anything you like to it. So now that we've finished the base of our hat, we can move on to the ears using our 5.5mm hook. All that we're going to be doing here is starting with a slip knot again, chaining 3, and then working 7 half double crochets into that starting chain, so the third chain from the hook. So you just 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so at the end of row 1, we're going to just chain 1 and turn. Sorry, chain 2 and turn. And then work 2 half double crochet in each stitch around. So at the end of, well, actually it's a row. At the end of row 2, you'll have 14 half double crochets. So I'll meet up with you at the end, and we'll just do our last row. And for row 3 of the ear, all that we're going to be doing is working 1 single crochet into each stitch around. And what that is going to do is sort of curve the ear a little bit and give it a nice finished edge. So just work those single crochets all the way around, making sure that you have 14 at the end, and then we can fasten off and just go back. I'll put timestamps below. You can go back and just make a second ear, and then we'll attach them together. Okay, so now that we finished making both ears, you'll see that it has like a little hole when we worked into our chain stitch. So all that you need to do is just sew up, sew up so that hole closed. So I have my tail here, and I'm just going to weave back and forth with my needle to sew those closed. If you had started with a magic circle, perhaps you did. You may not need to do this, but it's just an easy way for beginners to get the ears done. So I'll just fasten off and then show you the placement of the ears, and we'll get those sewn on. Okay, so with this hat, we're a little bit lucky because we have almost a ridge where the rows are. So what I like to do is just locate that ridge, and I'll put the top of the ear on that for the location. And then I'll just match up the other one to the other side and do the exact same thing. So you may already know how to attach pieces, especially if you make a lot of stuffed animals or whatnot, but this is just how I do mine. And I just take small stitches, holding that in place, and also along the edge. And that's all I do, just making sure to keep the ears straight as I go. And making sure that I'm not actually working in spaces. I want to catch those stitches so that the stitches are nice and firm and that the placement isn't going to shift. So I'll just work that way to the end, and then you'll see as I work my last stitch, I will just pull it through to the opposite side of the hat where I can weave it in. And I'm almost done here. And I'll just push it through the other side, and then I'll go back and weave in those later. So I'd love to hear how you made out with this hat. Was it really easy for you? Was it easier than you thought? Who are you making it for? What color did you choose? What yarn did you choose? So many questions, but this is absolutely one of my favorite hats. I just feel like the texture just gives it that little bit of extra style, and it is so easy just working the single crochet and double crochet. So anyways, I'm just going to finish off the second ear here, and then we'll be all done. So I'll just meet up with you in a second. So that's it, the completed Buddy Bear hat. Isn't it cozy? Just a reminder that I do have a pattern in my Etsy store, and these can be made for kids and adults as well. So let me know how you made out. I'd love to hear. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. It tells me I'm doing things right, and it will also push more of my videos out to you to see. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you so much for making me part of your day, and until next time, bye bye.